Grand Rising, Grand Rising. So this is going to be a 9-part series. So this is going to be number 1 of 9 because there's actually 8 people suing me. And the following episodes is going to focus on each one of those individuals. So this episode is going to be an introduction. I'm going to talk about who I am. I'm going to talk about why I'm doing what I'm doing. I'm going to talk about who's suing me. I'm going to talk a little bit about the aviation unit, some of the challenges I had there. And then the next episode, we're going to go individually into the cops, sergeant, and lieutenant that's suing me. Now, I just want you guys to know, my information is coming straight out of the lawsuit. This information is coming out the lawsuit that they put out. It's public information. The lawsuits will go up there. Also, I will put the docket numbers up there so you can look it up yourself. So let me give you a little breakdown of who I am. And this is important. So as of today, I am still an active member of the New York City Police Department. And I'm going to tell you why that's important. I am subject to the same disciplinary actions that anybody who's working right now is subject to. Some people told me to wait till I retire to speak, but if you're speaking the truth, that will never change. So that's why I'm speaking now. I'm speaking now because when narratives are being put out in media and on platforms to damage your character, it's important for you to tell your story before somebody else tell your story. So that's one of the reasons why I'm doing it. So the major reason is I have 2 boys. And this information is really not for you guys now. It's really for my sons that may type my name in Google search 10 years from now, and these garbage accusations pop up. So that's important. And also, it's important to understand that I didn't just arrive here. It was a journey. And a lot of times they say when you die, it's not the day you was born or your death date, it's that dash in between. And that dash in between from which I came to where I am came with a lot of dedication, persistence, sacrifice. It came with a lot of hard work to get to where I am. And that road cannot be overlooked because of a few individuals. So let's talk about it. I was born in East New York, Brooklyn. And East New York is arguably the most dangerous neighborhood to live in New York City in the 80s and 90s. In East New York, Brooklyn, parents send their children to the service because they're afraid if they stay at home, they will get killed. That's the neighborhood I grew up in. And I worked hard to go to high school, graduate high school. I went to Thomas Jefferson High School, one of the most dangerous high schools in the city, and graduated. And then I went to the police department. And in the police department, I made it from police officer to deputy chief. And if you go through the ranks, that's PO, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, deputy inspector, inspector, deputy chief, 8 ranks. And that just don't come. I didn't have family on the job when I came in. I didn't have a hook or somebody who pulled me all the way up. I worked hard for each step that I attained. I gave up summers. I gave up years studying for those exams. There's no such thing as a lucky Saturday. I made it to captain. There's only 77 commands in the city. I was fortunate to be in charge of 2 of them. At the same time as being a commanding officer, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in order for me to attain not just my private pilot certificate, my instrument rating, my commercial certificate, my certified flight instructor certificate, my certified flight instrument instructor. I even, with my own money, bought my own airplane so I can go back to my community to teach aviation and give many children in my neighborhood and beyond the opportunity to learn about aviation and actually fly an aircraft. And then I became the first African American or Black person ever to be in charge of the NYPD Aviation Unit, which is probably one of the most prestigious positions in the police department. And after that long journey of 26 years, 21 of those years as a supervisor, working all over the city, I get allegations basically stating that I dislike anybody who's not Black. Nothing like that ever before that. Then I get other allegations that's in the media, in the Post. I got a lawyer, scholar, who's going on media platforms saying certain things that's totally untrue. And that's why I'm doing this. You cannot throw stones and hide your hands. If you're going to throw it, keep your hand up. And I'm going to put your hand up. So I'm going to put the names up of the 8 people who allegedly, not allegedly, who is suing me in the police department. And you're going to notice that 2 of the 8 never even worked in the police department. You're going to notice 3 of the 8 I hired under my watch as the commanding officer. I'm going to break the other 3 down, and you're going to say, wow, I thought these guys was well experienced pilots, seasoned, been there for years, and understand what to do, what not to do. And you're going to see these individuals are the weakest pilots in the unit. But that's what we're going to do. We're going to expose them. So I'm going to talk about the aviation unit really quickly. So I began the aviation unit May of 23. And actually just getting into the aviation unit, I have friction from the beginning. And you know what? I'm used to friction. I'm used to going through struggles. Nothing ever come easy. And I have friction from the beginning. And this friction came from people who supervise me. And I understand, but I don't understand. So you guys know, in May of 23, I was called down to 1PP, and I was told that I was going to be the new commanding officer of the aviation unit. Proud moment, a position I wanted because I interviewed for the position in 2019 and didn't get it. That's another story. But I got it in 2023. Proud. When do I start? Listen, it didn't come down yet, but you can go down there now and start getting acclimated in the position. No problem. This is when it started. When I got down to the aviation unit, I walked into the XO's office, which was Chief Dowling, or is Chief Dowling, and someone else was in the office. I forget who it was. And unbeknownst to me, they had no idea that I had the position. I walked in, I introduced myself, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm assuming they know I'm the new CEO of the aviation unit, and that's the first they heard of it. Chief Arambulis, who is the chief of aviation, Special Operations Division, a 3-star chief, he's in charge of the Special Operations Division. He was on vacation, so he had no clue about it. So it kind of rubbed people the wrong way. But instead of focusing that energy towards the people who made the decision, your bosses, And that was Commissioner Sewell. If you had an issue with the decision, you can speak to the commissioner. It was more focused towards me. Give you an example of an issue I had in the aviation unit when it comes to Chief of Ramblers. Now, I respected the guy. I know there's a accusation or out there by Scola who said I told Chief of Ramblers in real time to his face, I don't work for you, I work for Chief Madry, which is total bullshit. I would never tell that man that. It's just total bullshit. But that was he believed, Chief of Ramblers believed I had a direct communication with Chief Madry, and some things that was happening in the aviation unit was directly because I went over his head to Chief Madry. And this happened a couple of times, but I'll give you one example. Um, when I first got to the aviation unit, within a week or two, maybe 3 weeks, um, Commissioner Sewell was leaving, right? She left shortly after I got there. I don't know when she left exactly. But before she left, on her staff, she had a one-star chief who worked with her. His job was to, I think he was a one-star chief, but he used to um, deal with the movement of the PC when it comes to the aviation unit. So if the PC needed to take a flight somewhere, he used to call the XO and make arrangements. So one day, my XO come into the office, Captain Duran. He was the XO at the time. He comes into my office and he has a 49 request saying that he wanted to change his category 2 car to a category 1. So a category 2 car is you could take to the local precinct, a category 1 car you could take home. So he came and said, listen, the chief that worked in the PC office, they're about to leave. He asked me if there's anything that he can do for him. And he told him, listen, Captain, the captain told that chief that he wanted to change his category 2 car to a category 1. So when he came to the office, he told me, Chief of Ramblers tried to get all the XOs a category 1, but was unable to do it. But he said, you know what, this guy he's going to grant me a category 1. And I know Chief of Ramblers was trying to do it, but he said he can do it for me. So I said, okay, Chief of Ramblers was trying to do this. You got a hook. You can make it happen. I signed it for him. And of course, I went back to Chief of Ramblers. Chief of Ramblers called me very upset and said, listen, you called down to 1PP. You got your XO category 1. And I have other XOs who don't have a category 1. They only have a category 2. And I'm pretty sure he had got some phone calls from other captains saying, yo, what? But when I spoke to the captain about it, then I remembered. And I told the captain at the time, go across the hall, speak to Chief of Ramblers, and let him know it was your hook, it wasn't mine. I don't know if he did or not, but that was the beginning. So he felt that my relationships with people at 1PP was over. I was going directly to them and not him. And that was never the case. Every time I made a move, I made sure he was a part of it. And I respected Chief of Ramblers, but the intimidation of me knowing or my relationship with Chief Madry or people at 1PP was a problem with him. He allowed people that worked for me access to him to tell him about things in the aviation unit, which he believed to be true because he never verified it with me. So when individuals felt like I can go directly next door, and there were people who said at roll call, especially the delegate, if you guys have problems with the CO, let me know. I'll go directly across the hall. That causes a problem as a boss. And that was the issues I had with the Special Operations Division under Chief of Ramblers. Good guy and everything, but that was the start of the hiccups. So let me tell you about the aviation unit. So you guys know, I'm going to break the aviation unit down into 9 steps. Let's do 8 or 9 steps. Let's go through it. So when you first get into the aviation unit, the qualifications to get in when I got in was a commercial rated fixed wing or a private pilot rotor wing. So when everybody get in, they had 0. And what I mean by 0, you are a pilot on the outside flying airplanes. Everybody comes in like that. You're still at zero. It's our job in the aviation unit to train you and teach you how to fly helicopters. And even if you got your private pilot helicopter on the outside, we still got to train you to fly our helicopters. So everybody's at zero. The first step you do is, and before you even get your commercial, a lot of times the first step is to become a TFO. And a TFO is a tactical flight officer, where you're not the pilot in command or operating the helicopter. You're not actually flying it. You're actually on the left side of the aircraft, and you are utilizing the mission equipment or the NYPD equipment while the pilot in command is flying it. You're going to be communicating on the ground to the troops. You're going to be using the camera to get for the downlink system, so people at 1PP can see what you see. Um, that's going to be your main function. Using the spotlight, that's going to be your main function. You're not a helicopter pilot, but we teach you how to utilize the mission equipment. That's step one. Step two is getting your commercial helicopter certificate. We say certificate, not license, but same thing. Getting your helicopter license. All right, that's step two, becoming a commercial rated helicopter pilot. That's number two. After number two, you go to number three. And number three is getting your instrument rating. And your instrument rating is so you can fly when you don't have outside cues. And you got bad weather, you can't see the ground, you use the instruments to land. So that's number three, your instrument rating. Number four is becoming a PIC, or pilot in command of the 429. So we got three aircrafts. We got the 407, that's the one we're training. We got the 429, a little bigger, twin engine, that's the one we use patrolling. And our last helicopter is the 412, twin engine also, but that's our air sea rescue. So now you're moving from the left seat to the right seat, become a PIC, a pilot in command. I think that was number four. Number five is you become a TFO in the 412. I think that was number five. Number six is you become a PIC in the 412. Number seven is, if you ever make it, you can become a CFI. Number eight, you can become a CFWI. And that's the progression you get through to the top. Now, I just want you guys to know, you are not even considered to get on the promotion list unless you hit number five. Unless you pass number five. You should be a PIC in all the aircrafts before you even get considered of being promoted. That's important. If you don't know how to fly the ships, why would you skip somebody who know how to fly the ships, become a detective? So that's important to know, because you're going to see someone on that list who was at zero, or actually at number one, who got promoted. And it's funny, they dropped the lawsuit and then they got promoted. I don't know. Coincidence. So that's the gist of it. And that's what we're going to be doing. Our next episode is going to be focused on Sergeant Vladimir Ravage. We're going to talk about him. But we're going to talk about everything. I'm going to spend some time with the lawyer too, some of the things he said. We're going to talk about some of the allegations in between that, about what was in the papers and how that turned out to be bullshit. We're going to talk about FAA rules and regulations that they claim I broke, or I didn't follow. And we're going to talk about a lot of things. But this is just an introductory. This is the first one. And some things I just wanted to get off my chest. Grand Rising.